PM. Great. All right, call order. All right, citizen comments, any citizens? No citizens? Not seeing any citizens, no visible citizens. All right. Moving on to agenda items, consider approving minutes from the September 10th, 2025 meeting and take appropriate actions. Does anyone have any issue with the minutes from the past meeting? I do not. We're good? Motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I second. Oh, yeah, of course you can. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Moving on. All right, Alex, receive staff updates on sustainability initiatives.
All right. On the active transportation plan and complete streets policy, we took that to the study session in August, and that is going to be going to council on November 4th during the regular agenda. So they'll be voting for adoption at that time. In addition, kind of related to the active transportation plan, the Council of Governments is doing a roadway safety kind of audit and report for a lot of the high incident corridors in the region. One of those was Josie Lane, starting at Dennis and then going up through Carrollton. So we did a site walk with their consultant in the city of Carrollton, just kind of evaluating sidewalk conditions and different things like that, crossing lights, different things. But then I guess whenever they're done with all these corridors, these high incident corridors, they're going to kind of put a report together. And so that's something that the city will be able to use if we are, looking at doing any sort of modifications to that roadway or safety upgrades, anything like that. So even though active transportation plan, hasn't been adopted yet, we're still kind of already working on those types of things. November 4th, the council meeting is actually going to be a really busy day. Price is going to be giving the committee's annual update to council that day. So that will be during the study session, November the 4th. Yep. They haven't announced it yet. It's typically either 3 or 4, depending on how much stuff they have on the agenda. I would assume with that one, with all the committees, it'll probably start at 3 p.m. But as soon as that's confirmed, I'll be sure to let everyone know. So yeah, that'll be going on that day, and then we'll also be doing a ceremonial item for the Texan by Nature Award that we received for the water conservation rebate. So that's all going to be on the same day. So Price is going to come in there looking real good for us because he'll do his, and then we'll get an award, and then hopefully we'll have the presentation for active transportation plan and the complete streets policy. So lots of sustainability happening at the chambers on November 4th. Yeah. The compost workshop was September 13th. We only had 10 attendees this year, but they were all really engaged and involved with it. So we built a nice compost pile there, and then we went to Dallas College to do the kind of classroom portion. So that was really good. And I was going to thank Lauren and Ted for volunteering, but neither of them are here. So I will try to remember to do that next time. The tree giveaway. So we launched the registration for the trees today at noon. We still actually have some available. So since you are all Farmers Branch residents, you're able to get one free tree. Let your friends and neighbors know that we still have some available. I'm not sure if they'll be available through the rest of the evening or not. And then that event is going to be on November the 8th, the actual giveaway. And that's from 10 a.m. to 12 noon.
And when's that? It's at the college? Or?
This one's going to be at City Hall. We were asked to combine put on the same date the tree giveaway and Parks Arbor Day ceremonial tree planting. So they're going to do their ceremonial tree planting from 9 to 10 at City Hall, kind of in the park behind it, or to the side of it, and then we'll do our tree giveaway from 10 to noon. The shredding thing will be on a different date. That's going to be on the 25th of October. So we won't have the conflict with that at that location. And then right now for the tree giveaway, I have Lauren, Val, Lisa, and Suzette signed up to volunteer. So if anyone else is interested, it'll be Saturday, November the 8th. So if you're interested in volunteering, make sure that you've filled out that form. I think I have some extra copies if anyone needs it. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to be attending the Texan by Nature Summit. So that's the nonprofit where Lauren and I guess some of the other folks helped write the award to. They're doing their summit in Dallas. So, okay. Well, yeah. All right. So I'm going to go. It's in Dallas. So I'm going to go and attend and see what that's all about. Lead for cities. So we received our preliminary results. They didn't score some of our prerequisites based on our population numbers. So we have to fix that. It's kind of one of those weird things. So I worked with a staff member on how to calculate our tourist values because a lot of this is on a per capita level. And if you have a lot of hotel stays, that can skew your numbers for what would look like resident, population. But the person I worked on with was not the person reviewing. Yes, so it's like threshold. So you get basically points based on your per capita greenhouse gas emissions, per capita water use. So hopefully once we get that cleared up, basically with what we submitted and what the population levels are, assuming we just basically tell them, hey, this is the documentation and the process. If they score us with what we were submitted, we should be right at that gold level threshold. So got to make sure that all gets approved, but I'll be meeting with them tomorrow to make sure to see what the issue was. Number one, because I thought we had all of that completed, but we'll be meeting with them tomorrow to make sure that we get everything in line for that. And so hopefully when we resubmit for the final submission in November, we'll hear back either right before Christmas or right after the new year with our final score. Water rebates, we have 117 toilet replacements, 14 irrigation checkup applications approved. We're going to be increasing that rebate amount on the irrigation checkup to hopefully incentivize more. So I think that'll be $75 instead of $50. So that should cover almost all of the irrigation audit, depending on what company you use. We've seen, so it's active now. Yeah, I'll be updating the applications on the webpage and hopefully put out some more marketing on that. But hopefully that gets us some more applications there. Shredding and electronics recycling is going to be October the 25th on Saturday, and that's at City Hall. I already mentioned the tree giveaway. And then as far as tabling opportunities, I don't think we have enough folks for Halloween in the park. So we're just going to do Haunts and Houses, which is Thursday, October 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. at the historical park. And I've got Lisa on that one. I'm going to be in attendance and Lauren as a maybe. So if anyone else,
16.
4 to 6. So I think we need to be there at like 3:30.
So we're gonna X the Halloween in the park.
Correct. But it's probably going to be a lot of the same audience. So I think it's fine just to do one. And since we did a spring event, yeah. October 16th. It's from 4 to 6. Oh, okay. I will add Suzette to that. Perfect. All right. I might have missed you on that. So I've got Lauren as a maybe and then Lisa and Suzette for that one. So we should be covered for Haunts and Houses. And the last thing is our next meeting is November the 12th. That's going to be mainly like our last big meeting for the year. December, we'll try to keep it pretty short as kind of a holiday break. So,
Well, it's Veterans Day the day before.
Oh,
So I will be
and
out because I know.
November.
November 12th, second Wednesday of November is our next meeting.
It's not.
Anyone
It'll be silly.
have any further questions for Alex? I have.
Yes.
What's up with the new Triple C?
So it is open at Senlac, and I believe they've got that going to 9 to 3. I can look that up real quick for you. It's pretty basic on the offerings. It's like trash, recycling, and I want to say grease. No, not at this time. So it's limited on the space there. So it's from 9 to 3.
That's nice. Last night, then.
Well, we tell the stories that we have on my current website.
I can't retell the stories.
It's so right now we only have trash, recyclables, and used cooking oil site. So we will try to see what we can add to increase diversion, but it is going to be site limited.
Vendor, how many new consoles thing.
Mhm.
Use something maybe interested if it was just like maybe 3 or 4 bins.
Yes, we can look at that. If you have, maybe we can talk after, because we previously had a contract with the compost collection. So normally we have to go on kind of like a contract basis. But that's something I would really like to bring back, is having that option for folks, and whether that's at the Senlac location, if they can do the pickups kind of like that evening,
Yeah.
or the nice thing is the old place was nice because we had the gate and it was secure and everything like that. So, but yeah, if you have a good contractor, let me know. And like, that's something I'm going to try and hopefully get it reestablished. Because I do feel like that's a missing service for a lot of folks that was unfortunately kind of a casualty in the Triple C loss. Yeah, that'd be wonderful.
So they do industrial, so they think.
So Triple C is a place that recycles electronics.
It previously was. That was our Citizens Collection Center. It was off of Valley View, almost to George Bush, and that site closed last budget cycle.
Only been a year.
Yeah, it's been over a year. Yeah. So they have kind of a modified light version at Senlac Service Center, which is also at Valley View and Senlac. But it's at this point, it's only trash recycling and cooking oil. So
And I'm sure when they're out.
I'm sorry,
It's over 9 to 3.
9 to 3 Saturdays only.
Saturday.
Yeah.
After the guy was.
So they offered him another position within the city and he declined. So I know.
So good.
So good.
Good hound.
Like,
Just personable and helpful and kept it really clean and,
leave the place.
yeah, he took a lot of pride in the site.
you know,
Exactly which dumpster to go to, like, gave you options if you had something that's bigger, told you the best way to get it in one of the dumpsters, so it was, yeah, he was really good. He was really good at it.
really good.
In the open roads review that you guys did, was there any like findings that you included about like improvements to that area for safety?
So a lot of what they were focused on was like the different like signal timing as far as like the time to cross and different things like that. The stuff I looked at was more just like what the shape of the sidewalk is. So like if you're walking on the west side on Josie from like Dennis to, I can't remember the other cross street, it's very narrow and like the fences are right by you. So it's not safe really to walk there unless you're really head on a swivel. So that was one of the observations. And then like different areas where there's like utility poles that obstruct. So like if you were in like a wheelchair or like pushing a stroller, like that would kind of have to go off and different things like that. So yeah. Yeah. So that
Maybe a little try to.
Mhm.
So they cross, they come up Dennis and cross over and Mary Immaculate on
on the other side, yeah. And so we saw a lot of that because we started basically at the post office there. And so on the east side, on that sidewalk, it's a lot better
Yeah.
for like kids and stuff. But it's definitely, it'll be interesting to see what they kind of come back with as their recommendations. And if that's something that we can, some of it, I don't really know what you can do with the available right of way. If the property lines, the fences are coming up to here and different things like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what comes out of that. And we had our street superintendent, we had a city engineer out there too, along with the consultants and the council of government staff. So I think it was a pretty good exercise for us to like really see the condition on some of these things. And you kind of notice a few of the little patterns, like where the storm water inlets are. There's like 3 in a row that had like sunken down, and kind of created a tripping hazard. And it's like, we're okay. Now I'm curious, were all those installed at the same time, or different things like that. So it's probably a good practice for us to try and maybe find some corridors and like just do a walking thing, or that could be something like if you guys are walking through your neighborhood or different things like that, just maybe kind of observe from a different, instead of just walking the dog or something, like, hey, okay, what do I notice here? Would it be hard for me to push a stroller? Would it be hard for me if I was in a wheelchair? Are there different things like that? Vegetation growing in that I have to duck down. So those are all kind of things that they looked at. So you could do it to me. It could on some of those, especially if it's like kind of one of the tripping hazard type things, or like a large sidewalk crack, or that would be, you could do the FETX Connect app, and that's good because it can be GPS located. And so they basically have like the threshold for when they come out to repair, or if it's like severe or minor kind of thing. And so like when that gets submitted, a lot of times they'll send someone out there within the next 24 hours or whatever their timeline is, and they'll measure it basically. Oh, this is a 2-inch drop. That's, or I'm not sure if that's counted as severe, 3-inch or something like that. But so that's how they rank those. Yeah. And yeah, you can also email me. You can send me pictures and I'll get them to the right people too. So that's also an option.
On the little similar vein, a lot of us have easements that aren't paved alleys.
Mhm.
Is there a process to have them paved? Is that something that's even considered? Because there's a lot of people parking in the street. If they had an alley, maybe it'd be a little better, or depending on how they have their layout on their property.
I do not know on that one. So I not a lot of the alleys are paved, so I don't necessarily know if that's what the reasoning is behind that, if it's just cost or but I can make a note of that and try and
And they block them off. Well, that's why they stopped doing traffic pickup in the bus. Doing traffic pickup too big, yeah, they can't fit. But is there a code for like if you have a driveway, you have to park in it? Or, I'm just curious, because like on the older streets where it's like, if people are parking on both sides, emergency vehicles cannot get through.
yeah. And that, I mean, that one, that issue pops up a lot at like council meetings. Like we hear that a lot. And so, I mean, I think, a lot of it is because some of the homes have converted garages. So, if the garage is now gone, basically there's only maybe one spot for the driveway, for a vehicle, maybe two. And then if you have 3 or 4 cars in a household, they're going on the street. So I think the only other thing on that is you're changing one side to no parking.
Right. No,
And that's a very, very,
That's gonna happen.
yeah. I think that's where the conversation kind of goes every time. And then it's like, oh, never mind. So, but it's definitely something that comes up a lot. Proud of you. And Ted, I'll look up on the alleys. I'll try to get a response for you.
All right, anything else on the sustainability initiatives? Seeing none, moving on. C3, discuss sustainability committee goals for 2026.
Ted, could you do me a favor and hit the little power button on the black dial there? So I think on this one, we're going to kind of just start brainstorming on what our focus areas for the upcoming year are going to be. So like I said, we have this meeting and then November, that'll be pretty full agendas. And I think it's probably a good time for us to, maybe the screen will work, to kind of look back and see, what we worked on and then what we want to maybe focus on. And that'll probably kind of lead us into the following agenda item. It would help if I plugged it in. That's the issue.
Alex.
I know. I didn't want you guys watching the recording of yourselves from the screen. So let's see if that helps. We can fix the operator error here. Oh no. It's just the rant that, yeah. It's the, yeah, pretty much. Thanks. So yeah, this is kind of just an opportunity for us to look back. I have the sustainability plan pulled up and it was attached on the packet. So we can kind of go through some of these items, but really this is just for you guys to discuss and sort of prioritize, as we start, get ready to start next year. What do we want to accomplish as a committee? Like, what are the things that we think we need to focus on more, and maybe it's based on what we feel is feasible. Maybe we come up with some goals that are okay, these are things I think we can do no matter what. These are things that we might need to start planning for future budgets, or, start to bring to council's attention, maybe some stretch goals, just things like that. So I've got this pulled up. This is the focus areas. This is part of the sustainability plan. I can go scroll down to whichever topic, and we can kind of see some of these goals and make sure that that's still what we want. And I think that'll lead pretty well into the next conversation, which is subcommittees. So basically looking at the subcommittees that we have. Are those still valuable for us? Do we want to shift focus to something else? Do we want to add something, whatever that might be? So this is all yours on this one.
Baseline, like for example, this one right here. Do we have statistics on how many solar, homes have solar panels?
Yes, so we do, and I can get that information. So we are seeing an increase in that. So we do track all this stuff basically on the back end. So on an annual basis, I'll track the number of solar installations with the city and the capacity of those. Electric vehicles, we track those, and that's going up over time. And then we did that sustainability infographic kind of thing that had some of those things there. And then some of them, like if it's pursuing Soul Smart, like that's kind of, once we get that, it's a check. So we don't really, that one might not really have a metric associated, but Power Switch, all of those, like we have metrics that we do on the back end for that.
Solar, do you differentiate between houses that have solar and battery capability and houses that are just solar?
Not right now, because I get the solar data through Encore. I think the battery I would have to get internally through city permits. But that is something if we can do just to kind of get a baseline. I like that. I like that idea. So. I don't know if I can get that type of data, but I think I could get the batteries. Yeah.
Well, and that kind of just, one of the easiest things we could do is, I know they shot it down once before, but just new builds, solar ready for new builds. I just can't see a downside to it. Because retroactively putting it on, I would guess it's almost like twice as much infrastructure as it is to retrofit it as it would be to put it in the original build.
Yeah.
So while you're just framing the house and run the electrical to it and just get it ready. So in the grand scheme of building a house, it's not that crazy of an expense.
Mhm.
So
Pushback was on that? Was it like from because of the developers?
It was developer pushback, I think, was a lot of that one. We met with two of the developers when we first did this like 4 years ago, I want to say, on the solar and EV ready. The EV ready didn't have as much pushback. In fact, a lot of them were already putting just an extra 220 volt outlet in the garage. But the solar one did. And so we modified the policy, or the ordinance, based on some of their concerns, and just made it a little bit less intensive, but where it could still meet the purpose. But when we took that to council at the time, they kind of tabled it and didn't really add anything. And they just adopted the new building codes. So I'm going to go back through and see if there's anything that relates to those items that maybe doesn't achieve the full thing that we were trying, but maybe is a tiny step towards that. Those are pretty dense documents to dig through. Depending on the roof orientation, if it was within, like, what is it, 90 to 270 degrees, there had to be a certain amount of roof space, of uninterrupted roof space for future solar panel additions. And then basically the breaker capacity that was labeled for future solar use. And then basically a runway where they could run the conduit at a later time. So you could basically run the conduit to the breaker box and go up. Then a couple other smaller things, but that was basically it.
I would take another pass at that because the environment has changed a lot since 2021. Like just in the, at least in the tech space itself, like, and also just this past summer, the legislative session, um, the state government was pretty, they pretty definitively said that they don't want to hamper renewables. I don't know if that's going to have an effect on like the council's mindset, but at the very least, they have the assurances that for at least the next 2 years, they won't face any. It might not be an issue of state pushback in the first place, but I'm
Yeah, I think it was more local on, because I think the existing state laws at the time were not barriers. It was more of just kind of a, I guess, local resistance on that. But
I think the ending.
that, yeah,
It's good to track, but I also think that there's the counter piece of the data centers moving into Texas and raising, rates for electricity and stuff like that, as we've seen in other communities and stuff. And I think that's potentially going to drive more consideration for things like panels too.
plus
Yeah.
the panels themselves are getting cheaper, so we can, if the panels become cheap enough, and also there's like a local like backyard spot. Like I feel like I mentioned it once or twice before, but like there's a panel maker like Southern Dallas. So like if we could like get supply on like a sweetheart deal from them, maybe, or also
Can't do sweetheart deals.
yeah,
We do the solar switch.
Yeah.
But I think really what the challenge is that the council is very business oriented. So if we're getting any pushback from the potential developers, they're going to yield on the side of caution to keep the developers coming unless there's a strong enough resident contingency that's willing to say, look, this is important. We want this to be considered. So,
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're gonna fall regardless of what kind of thing we put in front of them, I think.
yeah. The other thing too is just with how much of the city is built out. So the policy was focused on new builds, which on the EV ready was very much more focused on apartments, because that's a lot of our new builds, and that's a big barrier for people that live in apartments is charging. So like for the solar one, there's not a ton. It's one of those policies that's like, man, that would have been great to have when they were building all the homes in
Right.
the 60s. Granted, the technology didn't exist, but like for a community like up far north where, like Prosper and even north of that, those faster growing communities, that's where like having one like that on the new builds would pay the bigger dividends.
Maybe the solution is providing a program for residents who have older homes like mine that can live in panels. In order for me to get solar,
Mhm.
like for the rebate program or it's obviously a much more costly investment, but maybe that's the path forward, is trying to figure out a way to incentivize residents to upgrade to solar outside of the solar switch, because even with the solar switch, it's still pricey.
Yeah, it's still. Yeah, and there's a financing option, but it's with the interest rates of
So,
currently.
I don't know, I'm saying like there was some kind of incentivizing through the already existing housing stock to move this direction.
can't get some people. It's so really suck on.
And on the kind of energy note, is one of the things that we tried to get into the budget for this year, but with the flat budget, obviously didn't go through, was expanding the rebate program for an energy item. And one of the ones we were basically the two that we had proposed as options were either like windows, because we get a lot of calls from residents that are swapping out their windows, asking if we have rebates, or insulation, like attic insulation, just because the age of the homes, like the housing stock here, that was before a lot. So a lot of them have pretty much insufficient attic insulation. So that's something that we could look at too. It's not necessarily on the renewables, but we could try to kind of push that from the efficiency side, and that might be a little bit less costly for residents to it might be more feasible for them to do attic insulation, and maybe the rebate covers 10% of that versus maybe the rebate's 10% or whatever, 5% of that versus 1% of the solar, kind of depending on the.
And doing the landscaping,
Mhm.
this might be easier, it's less expensive just to get buy-in. 20% of your yard, native plants, or 10% of your yard.
Yeah, I mean, people are so attached to lawns though, and like the manicured look, it's, I think windows or something like that, so people are more.
I think there would be people that would be interested.
Oh, for sure. I'm just,
I'm in the process now of tearing out my stuff.
Well, yeah, and the tearing out the grass is the
Well,
biggest.
I haven't gotten to that part. I'm talking about the plants. Flower beds.
well, I feel like on the Dallas, City of Dallas, not their water one, but their other one, they have like, cause like Dallas County has a window replacement program.
Yes, and most of I think those are the low income weatherization programs, which can be somewhat times difficult for people to qualify for. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have resources like on our webpage that direct people to that, but I really don't know how heavily utilized they are.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
that's the tough part.
Just one more thing on the energy. I wonder if there's like a way to incentivize like, what is it? Like home energy audits or home audits and like somehow have someone preferred from the city that we work with to be like, you know, whether it's insulation or whether it's solar, here's, you know, a reputable, you know, company that can provide energy audit services and check your windows and check all this other stuff too.
I mean, that's something that we can look at for sure.
I recall that there's some kind of app developed, I don't remember what state or what company. Basically, it's like an app that's like supposed to make it easy for whatever municipality or state or whatever entity that's like considering solar to like ease the permitting process. I don't know if it will come with a reduction in cost, but the reason I bring that up is because there was another thing that I think I read where like 2/3 of the cost, since the panels have come down, of installing a solar system is actually the permitting and the bureaucratic steps.
And that's what we're working on with the Soul Smart. So the solar app, the automatic permitting was not one that would really work for the city. We don't have that type of volume where it would kind of pay for it. But so when we went through the Soul Smart items, that was a lot, was trying to make sure that our code of ordinance is clear and that we don't have any unintentional barriers. So like we have a 3-day permit turnaround time for solar. The fee is underneath what a recommended, you know, based on what they're saying, best practice, our fee is less than that. So that's what we're trying to do as far as eliminating soft costs on that.
When they, this kind of off topic, when they did the code adjustment, was it for the building?
Mhm.
Or was it the building?
Building, yeah, it was like the building code updates. Yeah.
Did they address the whole legislative session issue where any builder can come in and take a commercial building and turn into residential without having to get approval?
I don't think that they did anything outside of that. So I think basically what the state said is what's going on. I'm not 100% sure. So kind of as far as goals of the committee, kind of thinking about like some of the stuff that we've done in the past. We've, you know, started like the compost workshop, the tree giveaway program, the water rebate program. We've expanded that to now for irrigation. Are there any other kind of things that you guys are thinking of? And if you don't have an answer today, this is fine because we'll have this probably same discussion next month. But those are the kind of things that we're thinking about. Like what would be some outcomes that you guys would want to try to achieve in the next year? Yeah.
One of the things that composting, having the city take an active part in it.
Mhm.
You know, because in Philadelphia,
Yeah.
go to Philadelphia, see my news, and they have city, I mean, you have to pay a chunk for somebody to come in and pick your compost. If 30% of the trash in a household is compostable, that would be a great saving for us.
Mhm.
You know, I just need the number so that I can put a plan together and show it to the committee so that we can, if it's feasible, you can take it to council and have them, at least take a look at it.
Sounds good.
Just need, what is the cost? I mean, what is the cost of, per pound of processing trash? That's all.
I can see if I can pull some numbers on that. It's unfortunately the part where the economics come into play is because right now, since we own the landfill, we aren't paying basically a tipping fee on our own trash. Whereas when we haul the brush that we currently collect that goes to compost, that we pay a tipping fee for. So that does impact the numbers, but I can do what I can to figure out what that would be and at least get some rough idea.
When we close,
Mhm.
you have such a cost.
And that's a good consideration too, is, hey, if we can extend the life of the landfill 3 years by implementing this program or whatever, then
Yeah.
that pays dividends down the road.
Traffic that goes into the landfill. I mean, I am 100% behind diverting food garbage. Okay, like 100%. And also, until, I mean, like, our entire city, all residents included, is only 3% of what goes into that landfill. So even if we get 100% participation through everyone and every business in Farmers Branch, what is that really going to equal out to? Is that cost going to be, I mean, comparative to what, like if Carrollton, Louisville, Addison, if they're not doing it?
Well, that's the point, right? You put a program together, and these guys they talk to the mayors, the mayor councils, they're talking to each other.
Sure.
And this is something that can be sold at a larger scale than just smaller.
But are the contracts, aren't they already locked in?
As far as I think the price for tipping at the landfill, I think it is. And like I'm trying to remember, I do think they have I don't know if they have a cap or not on how much waste that they can take, but based on, I know like our tipping fee is higher than some of the further out landfills, just out of convenience.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm not quite sure how all of those are set and for how long.
Sure.
But
The point is this, right? There are two critical things that we're gonna have to face, one day or the other. One is the water shortage because of the growth of every city in Texas is growing, right? And then this is also, the other is how much trash is going in through the trash where it's not going to be decomposed for 500, 600 years. And we have an availability of people, I take the food and I go like, oh man, that would be terrible. I don't have compost in the bin, but it's something to consider. You know, it's not something that, even these guys, even the council, I know enough council members get at least a hearing on it. And you have them ask questions. So,
Well, but it's just not the composting, it's also talking to all the businesses of using compostable takeout, because takeout and plastic bags, I mean, that's a huge amount.
yeah,
That's just in every city.
right,
So businesses have to get on board with that, and very few of them are.
right.
And the city's not going to require them to divert even just their food waste. I mean, even if you don't say compostable takeout and compostable utensils, just your food waste needs to go in this bin instead of this bin.
One step at a time.
Sure.
You're not gonna solve all the problems at the
Well,
same
no,
time.
but I mean, we had a composting option at the Triple C, and that was kind of a
Take it out.
by getting. I'm just saying, I think it's a great idea. I think we should definitely pursue it. Also, I'm not sure how feasible it really is going to be.
Well, I can give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? They'll say no. Who cares?
we're at the same spot we're in.
I want to tether this back to paper bags for compost, right? So if we just had another day that was paper bag on the thing, then we could grab them real quick. And if nobody's participating, sounds like a quick route. And if people are participating, sounds like we need to do something about it.
I think for the paper bags, there was a lot of other things in the,
Yeah, I mean, so way back, like I've just heard stories. We used to give away paper bags for trash. And then yeah, everyone loves. I still get a call every now and then asking about that. And the first couple of ones, I was like, "What's going on?" And then
Because
for you're talking about for like leaves and like small
so
organics.
if you're buying the bags, you know what they're for. Not gonna buy them if you don't know about them, right? If you give them away for free, people throw whatever they got. But if they had to request it, and then they just got a rebate on their water bill for the cost of the bag, like $5, $10, whatever we want to charge.
Mhm.
At least we can see if people are even interested.
well, I mean, there was a downside to the paper bags, just trash pickup.
Yeah, and I
know
think
that
it was.
argument, and Landfill said it was harder to crush than plastic bags. That was the literal argument.
I didn't know that. I just figured if they got wet, they would break apart.
You don't like crushing. It's like,
Yeah. And then as far as the issue with the brown bags for leaves is that brush is collected by the green grabber and that
Right.
tears the bag.
Yeah.
So we'd have to figure out some sort of other collection, and does that require purchase of a new vehicle or
I've watched those guys and they can be surgeons.
Yeah, they are pretty good. I want to take them to the claw machine game and
I bet we could just get a different claw that doesn't have sharp teeth on it. They could do it every
So,
time.
I mean, I feel like the better campaign is leave the leaves because that's better for the environment.
Especially fireflies and stuff.
Deadlines like that. And
But we get these windstorms knocking down branches. It'd be good to have a pile of those and small stuff in a paper bag. I don't know. I just think if people have to pay, they'll care. And they won't put random stuff in.
Oh, they care. I mean, we've got the new trash fee and people are
Yeah.
super excited about that. And
You wanna
new
get that,
water.
you wanna get that cost down, buy the paper bags and put your lawn clippings in.
Well, I don't think they can select the lawn clipping as mulch because people put other, like rocks or,
Yeah.
they found this random brick or whatever, and they put it in with their lawn when they're cleaning their yard, They get something, they find water bottles or whatever. I think that's like, you can't, that's why it's just the brush, not lawn clippings or leaves or, kind of thing.
You can give them paper they have to sign when they buy their bags.
We
That
did,
says, I will not throw bricks in the paper bag. Like, I can't imagine people doing that. That sounds, but people are people. so.
people are people. We did talk once about the street cleaners that do the leaves instead of the,
yeah. I've seen those in some cities, so that's something. As far while we're talking about leaves, I thought about is like how. Yeah.
It's 5 more, man.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, we kind of were talking basically right now. I've got like energy, compost is kind of like ideas underneath like transportation. That one's kind of tricky. We're working on the complete streets policy. As far as increasing mileage of trails, that's kind of through the active transportation plan. EV ready. Oh yeah. So that's up here. So that one's actually up on buildings, kind of like built environment. Yeah, there's overlap. When we were building this way back in the day, we're like, should that one go here or there? So there's some that are kind of interesting on the placement, but we currently have a subcommittee on built-in natural environment, so that kind of covers some of that we've spoken about. Transportation, I think we've made decent progress on some of this. That's always just gonna be a long road just with trails. The DART stuff is interesting. So, but there's ways that we can work on connection. Yeah. And I don't know how it's if it would be impacted by some of the fare restructuring because they had to cut some routes and different things. But when we had DART here at a meeting, they talked about the Farmers Branch GoLink zone, how you could actually take GoLink to Carrollton Station to connect immediately to the Silver Line. I haven't heard that would go away, but I also haven't heard their official announcement on when that goes live, so I'm not quite sure. But there's some. 25th, yeah. All the way from Plano and Shiloh Road to DFW. And then you could technically get on from DFW to the TRE, and that'll take you quite a few other
So you
places.
could get on, Farmers Branch, go up to the Carrollton station, because that's where it is, right downtown the station. Silver Line cuts across, takes the airport.
Take you to the airport, yeah.
Or you can take the way.
Yeah.
Move on demand, go up to the Carrollton station.
Yeah, so you can either do the green line from Farmers Branch Station, take the train up, or as Jasper mentioned, the Go Link. And basically get the Uber. Okay.
You still have that spreadsheet that Joseph did with all the,
Yes, and I can bring that for next time if we want to do like a little ranked choice kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, no, that would be great. We can do that. I just wanted to kind of get some thoughts going, and as you guys are driving home or commuting to work in the next couple weeks, maybe start kind of thinking about, what would the accomplishments be, so like Price is doing the presentation to council, and that's one of the things. Hey, since our last update, here's all the stuff we've done. So kind of thinking about like, okay, what do we want to say to council basically this time next year that we've achieved. So yeah, if we'll think on that. Obviously, the sustainability plan is a good place to start, and then we can kind of go from there. I'll bring the like ranked choice kind of thing, and maybe we'll do a little bit of a straw poll type thing next meeting. Oh, I could do that too. Yeah, that would work. Yeah. Got it.
your presentation is before.
Correct.
Meetings on the 11th, was it?
What did I say? Is it the 12th? 12th.
12, yeah, 12. Did you guys share?
Yes, it's being approved right now, so I'll send it out once it's got all the final check marks. I guess, Price, do you want to kind of talk about some of the things that you're?
Alex had about the achievements that we've done with the transportation plan and working on sustainability initiatives with, again, the tree giveaway, composting, electronic recycling, the public program. But then my focus is going to be kind of, I'm going to go through, we did this, we did this, we did this. Here's what we're hoping to accomplish, and at the end, I'm going to kind of hammer home about how sustainability is key for basically keeping a city alive and keeping people wanting to move to a city. And a place where, yeah, Farmers Branch has the best locations in DFW, if I'm going to brag about this time, right? So, but if you have to attract people that would like to live here and give them and attract people who are interested in keeping the city up, and it's I feel that sustainability initiatives will do that. And to keep people who do live here, hey, wouldn't you like it if you were? It's eradicated staying here, I'm not gonna be here in 40 years. Neither are you. You, I'll point to all the boys and yeah. So it's like, what do you want? Step outside and see 1970s Los Angeles, or do you want to step outside and see trees and blue skies?
Right. Is there gonna be like a slideshow or?
Yeah, so we're limited to 5 slides, so.
Yes, and those maps of the toilet and the tree giveaway, like that, I think that's really.
Yeah, and we have a whole slide basically on the trees. We have, I think right now we have the canopy map. And so, but one of the things that's, hey, we're a city in a park. Here's what we're already doing. We've noticed our tree canopy is declining, so we use the data. We're doing the tree giveaway. Parks is planning on their lands. We're an Arbor Day city, but what's next? And that's what we're kind of, what Price is going to try and.
And also kind of like one of my my focuses for upcoming action is tree preservation. And old growth tree, any trees that are around that are established and basically drought proof, right? Once they get to a certain age, they're pretty durable, but like the,
Water.
and the little trees are, all of them are good, but they gotta make sure they make it. So that's what I'm gonna be kind of hammering on and add for years. Hey, so what's going on there?
So I'm thinking about the tree canopy map. I remember during that time we looked at the heating map.
Mhm.
I hadn't even that one.
I got them overlaid.
I
We're,
tried.
we're working on it to try and see what
But
the heat.
We can't get them overlaid side by side, so we can see. So we can look at the show, because I actually bring that exact thing up with that, so we can see, like, look at the heat zones with the lack of the trees, and look at the cool zones and where there are the trees, and with the old growth parks, look how cool it is behind City Hall, look how cool it is around Historic Park, and get that across, because
If you wanna walk.
if you want to walk, if you want, nobody likes 110 degrees. I don't care. I don't care.
Amen. It
So,
does.
cool. Yeah.
Go roll on to the next one.
Yeah. All right. So, discuss subcommittee objectives and the potential for adding or removing subcommittees.
So same thing on this one that ties together pretty well with the last one. We currently have 3 subcommittees. We have the built-in natural environment, communications, and water conservation. So no action obviously on this one, but this is just a chance for you guys to discuss, are these areas that, still align with our focus? Do we want to continue to have a subcommittee? Do we not need it? Maybe we just do kind of ad hoc type things. And then I know Esrifi's got some ideas for potential additions. So we just kind of y'all discuss on that. And then when we move into next meeting, we can maybe take some firmer action on that.
But also it's like 7 right now.
Subcommittees?
No, we only have 3. We have,
The time.
oh yeah. So we can be brief on this.
Okay, I'll start. Hey, Nathan. I don't know if we need to keep having a community subcommittee or if we don't. I think it can go either way. I think that one of the goals, regardless, for the coming year is to increase our visibility because I'm kind of hearing, oh, I didn't know we had a sustainability department. So if we do decide to move forward with an actual committee, then I would like to up our public visibility. Having said that, I feel like we all volunteer our time for this meeting, which is amazing, but in order to increase our visibility, I think that we need to have a conversation about the culture of our committee because we were started as an advisory committee, but unless we're all willing to commit some additional time, like I can't go to every event. I can't go to every, whatever thing. So we have a couple of people that are constantly volunteering. So I think we need to talk about if that's going to be something that's a part of the culture of this broader committee that we all need to commit to being available to at least attend one event a year or something. Because I would like to see us piggybacking on as many city hosted events as possible. Like last night I went to one of the national night out events and they had, we could have had a table. It was a fairly well attended one. They all have to register, or they don't have, I don't have to, but they do register. So like if there's several well attended ones throughout the city, we could have had a table.
Yeah. I posted a table at one before.
Yeah, and like, giving out seed packets and Jasper had this, he dominated Canva and made us these cool little cards that have our QR code that takes to the website and it has, on here water rebate, tree giveaway, like some of our programs. And I handed out like 20 of these last night. So there's extra, everybody can take some.
Can you pass one?
Yeah. I'll pass you a whole bunch.
Yeah.
You can take them, but I just feel like if we're gonna have a communications committee, I would like the goal to increase our visibility significantly in the coming year. But that's gonna take more than just me and Jasper or me and Jasper,
Thank you.
Alex or whatever. So that's my hit.
You both have what's.
You killed it.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it would be helpful to understand what are the tools that we have available to us as well.
Mhm.
So I know we've used social sometimes, like we've, talked about the infographic. So either like what the city resources are, like what sort of ways that we can, I know we have like the inserts and the water bills and stuff, but like maybe understanding that a little bit more would help. And maybe there's I don't know if there's like a communications team within the city, maybe a presentation from them that talks about some of those things could.
Yeah, they can provide a lot of that.
You know what? This is way off, but it's along the visibility. It's, the city Farmers Branch has those and those tents that they use for events,
Mhm.
festivals and stuff. We should have one for sustainability. Because it's up there at 5.
We have a big table covering it, so.
Yeah,
the big part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a canopy that we had for soccer that we don't use anymore because, we're not doing soccer anymore, so. But if that's something that the committee would be interested in using for any kind of event.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with, like, bringing that.
And I appreciate all the ideas and stuff, but unless there are, and I think the city has a serious proliferation problem with all of the socials and stuff that you were talking about. Like, honestly, if there are not going to be people showing up, actually talking to our neighbors, then all of this is just like pie in the sky fuzzy talk. Like, that's the part I'm talking about. I can't go to every event and talk to all the people. So unless we're all going to commit to making that a priority as a committee, then it's just kind of nice talking stuff. But it's really difficult to execute, especially when the city has its own marketing problems. Like, using their tools is great, but they're hitting the same 400 people on all their platforms. They're not hitting the broader 35,000 residents that we have. So using that platform is wonderful, but it's not going to change significantly
When does
as much as people talk, as much as us talking to our neighbors and talking to people that show up at events. And
when does the next city calendar come up at 2026? Like, because they plan those events in advance, right?
Yeah, I mean, normally they probably have most of the dates already done. Yeah.
So something that we can bring to, once it becomes official, we can bring it and we can kind of go through it. It's like, okay, Price here, Jasper here, Suzette here, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like.
well, I mean, we did the global, Gateway of the Globe this year, and we're doing the Hanson, that's 2. So if we could get to like 4
Yeah.
on each quarter next year. I'm not saying we have to show up at every single thing, but more than we did this year.
Yeah, we kind of had 2 as our goal this year, and then I did Earth Day at the library, so that was kind of 3. But
And then I think that like the National Night Out would be a great little post gift bags, or like the one I went to last night, they had a raffle, so we could maybe submit something for a raffle. I just think that there's, ways that we can get more exposure. So if we're gonna have a communications committee next year, then that would be kind of our goals, is to get more.
Do you have like strategies to try and like get the message out that like we're doing this and here's how you can like participate as a person in the city?
I don't know what you mean.
Like, the way I imagine what might need to be done is some kind of blitz. Like, literally just like going wherever we can to like spread the message of, hey, we're the sustainability people. We're trying to like brainstorm and like implement and advise ideas on sustainability Farmers Branch. And just do that en masse, but I don't really like know how exactly that would be done. I'm willing to participate, but like I don't have the mind to like plan for it. I don't know enough.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the city hosts a lot of events, and we can attend any city event as a part of the city. So just saying, hey, I'm available to go to the fishing fund and do a booth and talk to residents, that's the way to do it, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's been kind of we do have the tree giveaway, but a lot of people don't. Last night I can tell you how many people were like, I didn't even know we had a sustainability department.
Yeah.
So they don't know about the tree giveaway. They don't know about the toilet rebates. They don't know about the water. They don't know about anybody because they don't know we have a department that exists. So until because Alex also cannot go to every event and do everything. So as the committee, until we can have boots on the ground and be present, it's going to be difficult to get people engaged because they don't know we exist. So that's the goal, is to more visibility.
And maybe to your point, like whenever we go over these event times in the beginning of the meeting, we just bring up a table and it's like, we're marking who's coming to this one, who's coming to this one.
Have a calendar set up for the year
Yeah.
and we just find out.
And then, because I can't usually go to weekday stuff, but weekend stuff I can probably go to. So, I'm sure there's times when we can all, be available for things. That just depends on our personal schedule, but maybe that's something that we start doing at the beginning of the meeting and just kind of build it into our regular process.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to do it.
We did, I did get text messages from some of my neighbors that a bunch of them did sign up to get trees, but my neighbors are a little more involved, like
Yeah.
my ones who we do the wind down, but we have a text chain and everybody keeps everybody updated on things. So
My wife was sitting there
Refreshing.
refreshing.
Me too. All day, all this morning.
Oh, I did it like at 12:01, man. I had it loaded. I was in a meeting. I was like, sorry, I gotta take a minute.
Yes.
Refresh.
Totally do it.
Does she
They give you instructions. Yeah, they give you instructions. Reach big.
I'm like, where are you gonna plant it?
Wide open.
Did you want to see these? Very nice.
You showed me one earlier.
Yeah. You found it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Which one did you get?
The white oak.
So yeah, Joshua had these great cards made.
They're great. Thank you.
Everybody gets some. At your event, I don't know. I don't know. When you're talking to people, talking to your neighbors, talking that QR code takes them right to our website.
And you need like more?
Oh, yeah. That's nice.
You get 5 stands, you get.
This is just our
Yeah.
in a crunch time.
And I have the infographics that have the same QR code. So we'll have those. We've had those all year for events, but we'll have a few left and then we'll refresh that at the start of next year. And so that'll be good for that too.
Yeah.
But this looks great.
On our website, on our page, we should have, this is just a suggestion, we should have all of our headshots on it. So the committee is listed there. So when they might be our neighbor, or we might have our child at school together with them, and it might start conversations. This was visibility.
Okay.
And it could say, we could, have your name and your tag and,
That'd work.
Looks like
that wouldn't be
we
hard. Maybe y'all do your headshot.
Yeah.
Just let us know.
But it looks like we're out of trees.
all right.
We're out of trees.
Looks
Just
like
for the
it.
giveaway, there are other trees that exist.
Yeah. So calm down. Yeah. Somebody
That
will
was
not
good,
show
yeah.
up. Somebody will not show up. You will.
Yeah, there will be leftovers.
But he's trying and they're both saying 0.
Oh, no, they do say 0. It says check the box anyway. Doesn't matter what the number says.
So whenever they're out, do they shut down the date and?
Yeah, they will.
Oh, he's right. There you go.
Oh, okay.
What happened?
Yeah, because I just signed up for a plum.
The plum is not.
Yeah, I did too.
You go back and make sure I did. I'm pretty
One
sure.
of my neighbors has
Yeah.
persimmon, and the next one has jujube.
Looks like that might sway people for actually.
Oh, don't worry, they'll.
They're pretty good.
Oh, so many people signed up for it.
It's a really good line. And then a line waiting.
We're not getting any more giveaway money for trees, like they're capped us out at 200 trees or whatever it is.
For now, yeah.
This is it for now?
No. I mean, per year,
Oh.
we budget for 200 trees. Kind of bringing us back on the subcommittee items.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone from water conservation or built natural
Well,
environment?
I mean, the only thing left for us besides obviously the meter is infrastructure and getting, like we were talking with Castle, is just, what do they call it, non-revenue water loss, you know? That's just getting lost in the pipes and getting lost lost on the way in transit. What did they say? 13-14% or something?
Jeez.
Yeah, water is just going through cracks and getting lost, so. I mean, and that's kind of, there's not really too much the water subcommittee can do about conservation
Yeah,
too much anymore with, because I mean, Al's toilet and irrigation program, really good.
Mhm.
But like, you're not gonna get people, and the only other thing is getting the meter thing out and just letting people know how much water they're using and avoiding leaks. So I don't even know like what's left for water, so we might need to come up with.
Maybe we shift focus for the coming year, because I know we talked about energy and compost, so maybe
Yeah, like,
we,
composting subcommittee or just maybe like subcommittee that just folks the council about energy efficiency and building codes and, you know.
Yeah, I think composting would be an easy way to get attention from the community. It's not a very big investment in at the front end or something. Pardon? Oh, does he?
Yeah, we did like that.
All right, well, it's not a big investment for people to get started, to dip their toe into sustainability if they're not in it. And, you know, the Farmers Branch Library, the Mansky Library, our campus could all host workshops for free. Invite, you know, the garden things to come in and speak.
We send a lot of literature to the relevant. But we never include any of the business owners. I think that's a big issue with Farmers Branch. Because the business owners have no stake in any of this, except for developers. Yeah, developers. So I don't know, Alex, if there is any way we could do seminars for.
I mean, we can try it. It's just, I mean, I'm happy to give it a shot. I'm not quite sure what the participation will be, but I mean, it's always worth a try to do something, you know, just to see.
Just what is sustainability? How is a sustainability committee working in city of Farmers Branch, and what are the benefits of sustainable living
To whom?
to the business owners? One of the things I found Elizabeth does really well as a council person, she visits all these businesses. They get to know them. You know, and I think that would be the next level we can take this. Instead of just pitching to the residents.
Yeah.
It's worth a shot next year at least.
How do we find business people?
Huh?
This is just from someone who has like, how do we find business people? to
Yeah,
talk
you go to Microcrest Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
And do a seminar over there at the meeting place.
Yeah.
You know.
People will come, because they come to the chamber.
They're members of the Microcrest Chamber.
They'd probably love to have us because they always want to grow. They're always
Yeah.
nervous.
They're open,
It's
so.
just small.
I mean, I'd office out of the city, the meeting place. I can go to the president of the Chamber of Commerce and say, would you be interested in something? Do you think the business would be interested in? We should at least get a gauge from them.
Yeah, I mean, they have their like a monthly meeting or.
Yeah, they do. And there's another one, Rotary Club,
Yeah,
like Brookhaven. They meet and then, what's the mayor's name over there? Carrollton, he's the chair for program. He brings in a lot of people. So those are some of the things. I'm gonna start going to, this Rotary. That's in Brookhaven.
Does Carroll, pardon me, interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
Does City of Carrollton have a sustainability? committee?
They don't have a committee. They have a sustainability plan that was adopted by their council, and then they got the lead for city certification. So they have some work on it, but I don't think they have a full-time employee that's solely focused on it. It's kind of within, yeah, it's kind of within environmental services over there.
I wonder if we can combine the communications push with the business reach push. You think?
Well, I mean, as it's the same on communications. Yeah, if we, or, you know, within the communications or even separate communications, maybe just kind of business liaison subcommittee to meet with businesses and just encourage even slight improvements, you know, other than running your AC at 50 degrees and when it's 110 out and just taking everything that you have and throwing it in a dumpster, you know. Because that's I think all the business trash goes to our landfill too, right?
Or do they have their own, when they have their own independent?
Most of it will go, like, if it's kind of normal, like municipal solid waste, even if it's from a business, will go to ours. If it's like construction, demolition, remodel type stuff, it normally goes to a separate landfill.
As far as, you know, like, let's just say the, whatever, red sticks, you know, all their trash goes into their bags and into their dumpsters, and that goes to our landfill.
Mhm.
Right? So,
It'd be interesting to find out what they're already doing
Yeah,
voluntarily, like, because all these companies, business owners, they have their own internal culture.
Mhm.
So maybe they're already not having their thermostat up to, and that also can be a really great selling point for the city to help encourage them to make these things more required if they know, oh, Fox Market is already diverting all of their food waste voluntarily, because that's part of their own internal culture.
right.
The Omni Hotel was already dimming their lights during peak migration. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a tall order.
Yeah.
Try to start figuring out what companies are already doing
mhm.
voluntarily that are in alignment with the sustainability goals.
And I mean, that might be, because Nitro Press is kind of like a central hub for the businesses, right? So get something to them and then they can distribute out a questionnaire or something.
Yeah.
A questionnaire of some sort. What sustainability initiatives do you have? Do you compost? Do you, like, what's your recycling like? Do you have solar
What's
panels?
important to you?
Yeah, is it important to you? If not, why?
I mean, what we can do, we can get a meeting with these guys. The president of MetroCrest Chamber of Commerce, and have a word with them. And say, this is what the city
Mhm.
sponsor could make.
Yeah.
With a valuable role. And what can we do to encompass your participation? Something like that. I can set it up.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Let's see what we can figure out with, how we want to reach out. I mean, reach out and set something up, then we'd have to have kind of a plan of what we're going to talk about.
Like, we should probably do like the survey and also the meeting and maybe also the seminars, like planning for those things around the same time, like, right? Maybe
They have lunch and learn over at the meeting place, about 50, 60 people come. And this could be one topic.
Maybe this would be a good supplement, you know.
I see it. You're cool.
Wait, what? What? No, it's like, hey, I got something like, I see it.
Engagement or something.
Yes, Ted.
Yeah, once and learn, that's a good one.
So, what we did, because we thought that most of the facilities people don't really care about sustainability, is we got all our topics together and then we split it up by, I already know about this and I think it's cost prohibitive. I think this is interesting. I want to learn more about it. I have no interest in this whatsoever. You should listen to people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were surprised by how many people would just straight up say, I'm super not interested. And then they'd have like 3 things they're like, I'm super interested in this, but I don't know anything about it. So that could be a way to guide the seminars.
But do you think, Alex, would you be the point of contact where if we were to set up a meeting?
So what I'm kind of looking at here is I'm going to probably start with our economic development and just see, do you know any businesses that are already like basically marketing something that they're doing that's sustainable, you know, as part of their practice? Like, do we have any of those types of businesses in Farmers Branch that, you know, hey, we take pride that our food is locally sourced, or that we have solar panels on our building, or that we recycle or compost, and try and get that as a baseline. And then if you have a connection with like the Chamber of Commerce, or, just a relationship with them, to kind of float that out there and ask them and just be like, hey, I'm a member of the Farmers Branch Sustainability Committee, city's working on this. We don't really have much of a relationship with our businesses on sustainability. Is that something that's come up, in y'all's conversations before? And, what resources, is it something that the city could help facilitate or provide information on? And then we kind of build it from there.
So another thing is, by doing this, we discovered that a lot of people are already doing what we want, and more of them were doing it than not. So it was very easy to just nudge them into doing it because it's already helping their bottom line. So if the company is looking far enough ahead, they might already be adapting it. But for the company that's not, they could get a little incentive, and then they would jump in. But they're just not, because they're on the fence because of cost.
I like the discussion as potential for maybe a subcommittee on business engagement. We'll look and see if that kind of will fit within our scope, or if that's something that's more.
That might even be,
Yeah, like
built natural environment is, that topic is so broad.
Yeah.
Maybe, because honestly, that could be, almost that one can be merged into business, because built natural environment, the majority is businesses, right? Because
No,
you don't think so?
I mean, it hasn't been that hasn't been the focus that Lauren and I have been
Oh, okay.
looking at.
Because I'm
I
thinking
mean,
of like,
it's certainly noted as a potential,
yeah,
but when we first started, it was like, it didn't seem like a app that would yield results quickly.
yeah. Because
So-
I remember, what was it, Soren and he just had a baby.
Shelby.
Shelby.
Shelby, yeah. They when they were doing it, they were looking at, things such as water permeable driveways and,
Right.
and parking lots and stuff like that. So that is,
Right.
and that's kind of just stuck in my,
And so some of that is residential, but it definitely could be business related. I would, I mean, if you have it under there, I would almost split that in two, because that's a big, there's lots of
Yeah.
potential there,
yeah.
but I don't,
Yeah.
for what we've been working on today, I don't know that, I know that I couldn't take on.
Yeah.
As much as I do really
Right.
need thumbs up for it, but I couldn't take that on.
And the subcommittees too, just kind of, I know we're getting closer to time on this, but they're not required. We didn't have subcommittees, I think, for the first year. And just because we don't have a subcommittee on something doesn't mean we can't focus on it. If there's interest, we can have a presentation from a member, to bring it up, or to do research on their own, or with a, person, as long as we aren't violating the quorum, and just being respectful of all of your time as volunteers. Like, coming to this meeting once a month is already a lot. I appreciate you guys when you do come to volunteer at tree giveaway or tabling events, but I 100% recognize that this is volunteer time. You guys are donating to the city, and you have jobs, you have families, all this other stuff. So I don't want to overload anyone with any of that. But
Well, if we think that's gonna yield more than the residential push, we can swing the focus around.
Yeah.
It's whatever, because if businesses get on board, residents will see that, either way.
Right.
You have to have visibility, you have to see progress, people need to see it, to think about it. And just like the communications. And so if we think, okay, we're not making enough headway in the residential community, and we think it'd be worth it, a couple of years going after commercial to expand the visibility and maybe a bigger bottom line for landfill or whatever. That's yay. But multitasking all the parts.
Right.
I mean, I want to make that assumption that like businesses go, residents will follow. Cause like, I feel like a lot of the business areas are like kind of almost in a separate world from like what a lot of the residents are like thinking of and doing.
It's what they see though, like that's parking lots that are just concrete,
Right.
versus where you run into a little city center with permeable pavers and stuff. It makes them think about it in a different way. What will tell you is not working is businesses watching residential and being careless.
I think we should still focus on like both and like try and target both.
Yes, absolutely. But built a natural environment cannot handle all that.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
even if it's under that committee, you gotta
Right.
split it
It'd be
out.
separate, that would kind of like fall under business outreach as far as.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, separate from the residential
Yeah.
components.
Yeah.
Business
Trying to do
outreach
both
come-
would be tough.
That would be tough.
That would be tough. Because I mean, maybe the business
Mostly.
helping one can.
But
talk
hopefully
to
if we
them
can
about
build the reputation and
Seriously,
visibility, then that will hopefully
better-
drive maybe a little
better
bit.
landscaping that will save them money in the long run and also not be taking up a ton of water for their water.
Right, but if you don't split it out, then you've got three people, trying not to go past a quorum, trying to handle two things. That's not gonna work.
Do you guys have an idea of what you might want to focus on with built in natural environment?
No clue. I mean, we've been hounding after the, xeriscaping and all that, and I don't see us really making much headway, so I'm at a loss.
And the composting kind of also solved.
We can watch after the birds and the butterflies, and beyond that,
Yeah.
we posted a lot of, or put forth a lot of ideas, and I don't see traction in anything, so, maybe that's just the way it goes. So I'm out of ideas.
No, I mean,
Yeah, that's.
no need to apologize.
Yeah.
You guys put a lot of hard work and effort into the things that, I think it's a huge triumph that we got the blue bonnets over here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, one thing,
I think we need
we'll,
more of that.
yeah.
Just love that.
We'll keep it moving here. We're already at 7:30, people are getting tired. But, regarding that, I think just the checklist, the spreadsheet again,
Mhm.
to get our priorities together for the committee.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do that, like starting up or whatever, send it out to us or get us a hard copy the next week, just kind of do that. I don't have any choice, but. And I mean, that should drive the subcommittee rest from there.
Yeah, and we'll have another conversation on the subcommittees next week. So when Lauren's here, if she has ideas for built natural environment, we kind of talked about water conservation, maybe shifting the goal on that, communications. And then if we have additional ones that we want to suggest, we'll talk about that next month, just for the sake of time.
Speaking of, the quick received subcommittee updates, I'll go for water first. We got nothing, and just to get that out of the way. Still haven't heard anything about the testing for the.
They were finishing up the finance portion of that prior to October 1, so no updates since last meeting.
Tell you one thing that David Mayer brought me difficult here getting individual work party. So the makes that Oak Brook community used to have, they would be minimized because everyone will know.
Where the leak is coming from.
People were basically, it was just common,
Oh.
it's like 13 meters. only 150 people there. People just wasting and taking long 1 hour shower. It's going to make a big difference in what you like. Maybe that'd be something it's like. Thank you. And about that family. You know, they said a big community. Right. But well, that would be.
As far as activities, I went to the,
We're not there yet.
Next one, yeah.
I would have a gallon. Valerie, anything for, me? No,
No updates right now.
communication home?
We made these kick-ass cards,
Yeah. let's start.
and when we run out, we're gonna get some in Spanish too, but when we run out, we can do them.
I'll get those. If you guys help me with the design, I'll handle the printing and get all that stuff taken care of. That way you don't have to mess with it. Yeah, perfect.
Slide it to, just need updates from members on activity attended.
yes, I went to the, Sunday event. I went to the Westbrook House. Anyone watching probably doesn't know this. A lot of people might not actually know this. You know about this because apparently they did this in the past. Basically, the Westbrook House is this sustainable house that was like a template for the max efficiency housing that is like possible in Dallas with current technology. They did this back in like 1996. Like we still haven't like caught up to the efficiency things that can be done from when he did it back 30 years ago. So I was just like, he's restarted the Sunday, not the Sunday, the Westbrook House tour. He usually does it once every October, but he did it for the Sunday event that was like a nationwide global thing. Long story short, because I can ramble, but basically, I just went on the tour. He had an extra one for the Sunday, and I just looked at all the things, like all the efficiency, design, and technology implementations that he did back in the 90s and like added to over the years. And I just took it in and I interviewed him at the end. So I just picked his brain on like stuff he was thinking along the lines of sustainability and efficiency and like specific technologies, paths to go forward, etc. So
We threw an event at Eastfield on the 26th last month, and it was good. It was sustainability stuff. We had faculty presenting, we had staff presenting. We didn't have a lot of sponsors, but it was our first attempt at doing multi-locations instead of doing one event at one campus for the year. We're going to aim for 4 this year, but eventually we want 7 events per year, which is going to be a challenge, but we'll see it. Big takeaways. Nobody likes plastic promo cups, BPA free or not. Nobody wants that stuff. They'd rather be scolded for not bringing their. That's the true. So we got raked over the coals around in box lunches. and there was a lady who was taking lemonade, was very upset. And there just happened to be a water fountain out, so they had to leave to go to another building. So they were severely punished for wanting to be sustainable. Sad. But overall, it was a big success as a pilot, and we'll be doing another one at Richland, which is a bit closer here in a couple weeks. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
I did go to, and Al went as well, to Cass Hernandez's event on Monday. And one of the issues that she brought up was cooperation between us and the city of Addison for the water release for the rivers for that. It's not a pond, right? Or where is it that they release the water from? It's kind
I
of,
think it did, I think there's an aquifer up in like Vitruvian Park.
is that the?
I think it's,
Okay,
that's where
that's
it
where it comes from.
starts, and
Okay.
they kind of
So
control the
yeah,
volume.
there's an issue going on with the infrastructure, but they're working on getting that fixed and hoping to be able to get to more cooperation in water release. So, and she's working at as a state rep and not just a Farmers Branch resident. So, anybody else?
I went to an Ted and I attended a National Night Out event last night. It was very cool. Yeah, it was very cool. Great opportunity to talk to the residents about what's going on. I wore my little name tag and I had my little cards. It's just like a captive audience. It's great. And food too. And it was fun.
Wonderful.
And I got bit by something that's really itchy, but
Me too. But I was surprised how few bars. Very itchy. One bite.
Next we discuss agenda items. I mean, I think we got it. The main thing that we want to do is we want to get our checklist off again and do our ranked choice voting on our goals and objectives and move forward on that. That's what I got. Anyone else have anything for future meetings?
Just the state of the subcommittee that I've had in mind and brought up a couple times.
Yeah, that's gonna be part of that, and then we were just gonna need like but we really don't know what's going on with your plan or anything.
Yeah,
so-
I mostly wrote it down. I can send it to.
Yeah, put in bullet points, et cetera, so we could kind of look at that and see how to move forward with it.
Sounds good.
I got anything? Anyone else have anything else? On that case, I'm gonna get a motion to adjourn. Do we have a motion?
yes, I motion we adjourn.
It's a.
Oh, before we adjourn, I just want to note, I actually looked it up. I didn't realize a sweetheart deal was not just a really good deal, but a good deal that is so good it's probably done illegally.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that's what that meant.
Okay.
I can do every day.
Clarification on the record. There we go.
I'll take that as a second.
Mhm.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, being adjourned at 7:38.
In the
Brewers lost.